Sunday Feast speaker. He just went out. Yes, he is now here. So we have a very, very distinguished guest to welcome in Chicago this Sunday. Please join me in saying a loud Hari Bol to Anuttama Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Anuttama Prabhu is our GBC, and also he is the international director for communication ministry in ISKCON. He is going to speak today. Something which I like about his classes is that they are full of humor. So the message of Krishna consciousness coming to you in a very, very nice way. So let's welcome him and then be ready to hear him. Hare Krishna, Hare Bo.
Now I have to try to think of some funny things to say. You put the pressure on me. Actually, can I ask? It's not so crowded tonight. Can some of the devotees here move over here? Or else I'm going to turn the chair, maybe. Because I'm facing this way, and I'm very glad to see there's some Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis here, but most of you are over there, so maybe we can. And ladies back there, can you move up a little bit too? It's nice to see people. Thank you for sitting so close. Just keep smiling. If you don't smile at it, because I'm looking at you, I don't know what the message is going across, huh? Okay. So sometimes we chant Jai Radha Madhava first. And what time Arti curtains open? 6:30. Okay. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Ballava Girvardhari Gopi Jana Ballava Girvardhari Yasodhanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasodhanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Shri Kishore Kishore ki jai, Gaur Premanandi. So, just curious after that introduction, please raise your hand. Do you know what GBC means? If you know it in ISKCON parlance, what does GBC mean? Okay, 3 of you. Okay, good. So Radharaman Prabhu, in the future, whoever's here, you can make sure you explain. GBC means when Prabhupada established kind of well, it's interesting because we're talking about Guru later on today. So traditionally in Vedic or Hindu or some other Eastern traditions, anytime there was a spiritual community, there would be one person, Guru, or acharya in charge. And they were the spiritual head, they were the secular head, they were the everything. Economic head, they called the shots. Our Srila Prabhupada, who brought this Krishna Bhakti Vaishnav tradition from India to the West and then around the world, his guru established what he called the governing body commission. He wanted it not to be just a one person making all the decisions, because he envisioned a global movement to try to share the teachings of Bhagavad Gita and the teachings of Lord Krishna and all of our great teachers going back for many, many centuries around the world. And he saw that was going to need more than just one person to head that up. So it's a long history, but when Prabhupada's guru, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, passed away, the next generation, they had some difficulties putting that in place, his instruction. So our Prabhupada, when he came alone to the West, New York City originally, to establish Krishna consciousness or bhakti in America and then around the world, very early on, I think 1972, if I believe, might have been 70, I have to look it up. He created a governing body commission, or a group of originally about 12, now there's about 35 or 40 senior members of the movement, both men and women from all around the world, who have the responsibility to oversee what happens within ISKCON around the world. So that's what the governing body commission is. So I'm currently one of those members. A lot of places you go and they say, yeah, as a GBC member, this is the first place I took a survey. Now I know like 0.2% know what that means. So I can ask everybody ahead of time to make sure. And it is actually an important concept for us. It's actually whoever's in that role, because those people change from time to time. We just recently this year had a few people resigned because of age and other obligations. But it's historically quite significant because, again, most Vaishnava organizations, most Hindu organizations of this parampara traditions always had one person pass on to the next person who calls the shots. But for a few reasons, mostly because we see Prabhupada envisioned a much broader system of management than that, because you benefit from each other. In fact, he half-jokingly said, I think he was serious, but it was in a sense a joke, he said to the GBC members at that time, he said, none of you are intelligent. Because part of the role of a guru is to keep the disciples humble, right? So he said, none of you are intelligent. He said, together you have intelligence, but individually you don't have intelligence. So we can see really, it's kind of the way of the world these days too. We live in an era, those of you that, I live in Washington, D.C., those of you that kind of follow what's going on in the world, there's definitely a tendency moving back towards kind of dictatorial, tyrannical, possibly, that's a harsh word, but definitely dictators, one person in charge of various countries, and there's a lot of concerns whether that is a good thing or not. A lot of concerns about that. So in our movement, Prabhupada envisioned that none of you are intelligent. All of us have our limitations. We need to work in community. We need to work in cooperation. We need to work in team spirit to help move things forward as a society. If for no other reason, because we know we all are flawed human beings. We all make mistakes. So we need to work in a cooperative spirit to do that. So that leads into today's topic, because today is actually on the Vedic calendar, the traditional calendar of those who are students of the Vedic literature. Today is called Guru Purnima, which means it's the day that we celebrate and worship and appreciate and acknowledge and extol the importance of the guru, or one who gives knowledge about the transcendental information, transcendental revelation. So I was going to read a couple verses and part of the purports from two texts of the Bhagavad Gita, talk about that a little bit, and then read a little bit of a glorification that Srila Prabhupada wrote for his guru, who I mentioned, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, in 1936. And then we'll open it up, hopefully have some time for some questions. So this is from text 7 first, chapter 2. Contents of the Gita summarized, text 7, text number 2. Karpanya dosha pahata svabaha Pritchami tvam dharma samuta chetaha yachstreya shannishtitam bruhitan me shishasteham sadimam tvam papanam. Translation, this is Arjuna now speaking to Krishna. Very pivotal verse in the Bhagavad Gita. He says, now I am confused about my duty and have lost all composure because of miserly weakness. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me for certain what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and the soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. In his commentary, read the first paragraph of that. Prabhupada writes, by nature's own way, the complete system of material activities is a source of perplexity for everyone. So if any of you ever feel perplexed, you're not alone. According to Bhagavad Gita, the whole system is designed to be a perplexing place. And it's not just you, it's the whole system here. Which reminds me, I think it was Chicago last time I landed here. I might have commented, I was here a couple months ago. Coming from the airport, there's a big sign, billboard. I've been telling people this. I travel around the world. Eternal hair. Do you still have those billboards here? Is this the place? Maybe they went out of business already because everybody knew it was a joke. But a big sign, eternal hair. It's like if you want eternal hair, you're going to be perplexed. Is it here? You've seen it's still there. Yeah. So somehow or other, there's people falling for that line. But it's perplexing. You think, yeah, okay, I can have eternal hair or eternal house or eternal fame or something. It doesn't last in this world for sure. So it's a place of perplexity. Continuing Prabhupada's purport. In every step there is perplexity, and therefore it behooves one to approach a bona fide spiritual master who can give one proper guidance for executing the purpose of life. All Vedic literatures advise us to approach a bona fide spiritual master to get free from the perplexities of life, which happen without our desire. They are like a forest fire that somehow blazes without being set by anyone. Similarly, the world's situation is such that perplexities of life automatically appear without our wanting such confusion. No one wants fire, and yet it takes place, and we become perplexed. The Vedic wisdom therefore advises that in order to solve the perplexities of life and to understand the science of the solution, one must approach a spiritual master who is in the disciplic succession. A person with a bona fide spiritual master is supposed to know everything. One should not, therefore, remain in material perplexities, but should approach a spiritual master. This is the purport of this verse. And then the even more famous verse, again, just read the translation and a few lines of Prabhupada's explanation. Tadvidi pranipatina pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattva darshinaha. Just try to learn the truth. Now it's Krishna speaking to Arjuna, who said, I'm so perplexed, I don't know what to do. Please advise me. Krishna confirms. Try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. Prabhupada writes, the path of spiritual realization is undoubtedly difficult. The Lord therefore advises us to approach a bona fide spiritual master in the line of the disciplic succession from the Lord himself. No one can be a bona fide spiritual master without following this principle of disciplic succession. The Lord is the original spiritual master, and a person in the disciplic succession can convey the message of the Lord as it is to his disciple. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Bichanani Nirvasesha Shunyavadi Pashtatati. So, these two verses really are stressing the importance of approaching a spiritual master or a spiritual teacher or a guru. Of course, we know in this age there's a lot of different types of gurus, right? There's There's fashion gurus, there's political gurus, there's this guru. Everybody, in a sense, has become kind of a popular word. You have a yoga teacher guru, an exercise guru, a finance accountant, advisor, investor guru. Everybody's different kind of gurus. IT guru, so many gurus. So yeah, everybody needs a teacher. Everybody needs a guru. So here it's being stressed that in spiritual life or in a spiritual practice also, we hopefully all are, everyone here is inspired to seek some deeper explanation of why things are the way they are in this world, to answer those kind of nagging questions that are there in our heart. It's advised that in order to find those solutions, one should seek someone who's in knowledge naturally. I was listening to a recorded lecture of Srila Prabhupada just a couple days back, and he was giving this example that even in ordinary dealings in the world, he was saying if you want to be a doctor, you don't just go to the library and check out medical books, read all the books, and hang up a sign on your doorfront porch that says medical professional or even surgeon, right? You know, I read all the books, I looked at the pictures, I bought the knives, now I'm a surgeon. No, no, no. Who would go to such a doctor? You need to go and be trained by the people that actually have actual knowledge. So Prabhupada's mentioned that even in this, in our ordinary examples of life, you don't just learn by reading from a book. You need a teacher. You need a teacher to help us to learn. So on the second point that Prabhupada's making in his purport, the first verse, about the world being a perplexing place, we all have that experience, and if we are honest with ourselves and with each other, we acknowledge that it's a very perplexing place. The world is created in such a way that, especially I think in the modern times, it's only my experience, remembering only at least living in this material world. If you are ready to consciously admit it's a perplexing place, oftentimes people consider you weak. Not entirely. There are some schools of thought that would recognize your introspection. But generally, if you are perplexed and you say, I need some deeper spiritual answer, people will oftentimes, even if you find some teachers, sometimes self-help teachers and all that, they kind of say, just try harder. Just keep trying and try a little bit harder. We also have the understanding in Krishna consciousness that we need to try to solve these problems, and we need to try harder, but we need to know what direction to go. If we're not going the right direction, you can try very, very hard, but you're not going to be successful. There's a story that Prabhupada's guru, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, told in this connection about a wedding party in India some years ago. Everybody joined together. They get in the boat, and the boat's going to be rowed overnight, downstream, upstream, wherever they were going, to the next few villages, wake up in the morning and join this big wedding party, and they all go to sleep, looking forward to the happy party the next day. And when they wake up and the sun comes up, they realize they're in the same place. And then they realize the reason they're in the same place is because the boatman never untied the rope. So they were paddling, but because they didn't have knowledge of where they were going, they didn't make any progress. So the world is perplexing, and if we're honest, because it does require some honesty. I make this point a lot, and maybe to me it seems so true, but it's important. If you ask people in general, how are you doing? Everyone says fine. In American culture, right? They all say fine. How you doing? I'm fine. I just lost my job, but I'm fine. You know, my father just died, but I'm fine. I found out I have a terminal disease, but I'm fine. Right? My house got blown down by a tornado, but I'm fine. We'll be fine. Everything's fine. Just keep trying, right? But just like Arjuna said to Krishna in the battle of Kurukshetra, he said, Krishna, when I look out, I've got my relatives on this side, my relatives are on that side. And he was a warrior. He had his duty was to fight, as he talks about it. See, he's saying, when I analyze my situation, there's no win here. If I win, I have to kill relatives on the other side. If I lose, they kill me. This is a great example of a perplexing situation. Most of us are perplexed. The perplexities we face are not so complicated. So this example is given to make it clear. But we also face similar perplexities. I was speaking with a young man just yesterday. We had our Rath Yatra festival. You mentioned Rath Yatra yesterday in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Just a few hours from here, they had Rath Yatra. And I was speaking with a young friend who just graduated from college. And I was congratulating on him graduating from college. And I said, "What did you study?" He said, CS, which I figured out because I don't know all the acronyms, means computer science. And I asked him, "How's the job market?" He said, "Terrible." So it's like he went to university. His parents probably borrowed a lot of money. Somebody's got a lot of debt to live off. He's like all enthusiastic. Yes, here I go and launch myself into the world. But there's no jobs. Nobody wants me. But 4 years back, obviously people counseled him. They gave consultation. Go into computer science. It's a great field and there's a lot of jobs and everybody would be there. I remember a few years ago, nursing. This is probably, I don't know, a decade or so ago, hearing, go into nursing. It's a great field. It pays a lot and there's a lot of jobs. 4 or 5 years later, when they all graduate, they don't pay as much. It's not a great job and there's no openings. So it's just the nature of the world. Now we understand, okay, that's just how things work. Maybe this young man will go back, get his master's degree. Maybe he'll figure some other career. We have to endeavor. But at the same time, a thoughtful person asks, why does it seem like the system doesn't work the way I'd like it to? Why does the system seem to block me, as it often does? You can save up all your money for years and years. You're living in an apartment, perhaps, so many examples. You save up your money, you're going to buy a house, you get the new house, and then you move in, you realize the neighbor next door's got a really loud, obnoxious dog that never stops barking. And you're thinking, like, I waited for 6 years to get this house, and now I got this German Shepherd who's like, he's 10 feet from my ear when I try to go to sleep. What's happening here? Again and again and again, some small, some very big. I have a very dear friend of mine who has a teenage daughter who's having some, issues with mental health, and it's very traumatic for the family. And the world is full of perplexities. Again, some small, some big. Educational challenges, like this young man I mentioned, or job challenges, or you get the job that you really wanted, but then the boss is really hard to work with, or the hours are really difficult, or it's a great job, but you got to commute. Or it's a great job, but they transfer you to across the country to Texas. And now you got to sell your house and move your kids. And your kids don't want to move because they like the school. They got to make brand new friends, and they don't like the friends there. It's like, why? Why is it so difficult? And then your materialistic friends say, well, keep trying. Everything will work out. Devotee friends say, keep trying, and depend on Krishna. And remember, your real satisfaction comes from within and comes from your spiritual progress. So these things on the outside, perplexities will come and they will go. Don't be disturbed by that. They're going to come. But meanwhile, use the time and the energy you have to awaken some internal spiritual understanding. So anybody here work for Microsoft? Raise your hand, be honest. Anybody here work for Microsoft? Everybody knows until a few days ago, they were the world's best friend. Not anymore. Isn't it? I mean, imagine you're like a CEO or vice president or some executive position for Microsoft. People ask you, who do you work for? Microsoft, right? Not anymore. Who do you work for? Some tech company. See you later. Right? Yeah, take your badge off, throw away those jackets that are, emboldened with, throw away your Microsoft tennis shoes, whatever they gave at the last company picnic. Because you don't want people to know you work for Microsoft because you're the bad guy all of a sudden. But you thought you were the good guy. Isn't it? It's like, so who's next? Right? Who's next? We also see too, sometimes simple example, but a few years ago in Mayapur International Headquarters, I used to give classes at a particular like ashram or guest house. I hadn't been there in a few years, and I knew this one couple there and hadn't seen them, and saw the husband and congratulated him. And young couple, they had I think one daughter at the time. She was maybe 4 years old. And I saw the lady and I thought, young couple, one kid. Young couples had more than one kid. She kind of looks like a little larger than I said, we're friends. I said, Congratulations. I will never make that stupid mistake again. Never, never. She was not pregnant and did not appreciate my comment. So that's a perplexity. I was trying to be nice. Like, most men are totally insensitive to those things. I was trying to be like, wow, this is wonderful. And your family's getting bigger and it's wonderful. And I'm so happy for you. And like, no, so it's like, okay, let's back up, reset the clock. I didn't say that thing, etc. So, I mean, even simple things, we're trying to do kind of nice things and some perplexity comes up. So some very serious, some very small. So the Vedas explained that actually, whether we maybe live like they said, some people, they're born with a silver spoon in their mouth. They have so many advantages and whatever. They're the right ethnicity for that particular place. They get into the right school. They get the right teacher. They get the right advantages. They get hired by the right company. They get everything seems quite nice. Other people struggle, struggle, struggle. It's all within this particular range, according to the Vedas, that there's four major perplexities that everybody faces that generally people don't want to talk about so much because they're the hardest ones to solve. And those are described as birth in itself is considered a perplexity for the soul. Old age, which most of you here don't have an issue with, is becoming an issue for me. Some of us, maybe Radharaman, but maybe not. I think he just dyes his hair to look more respectable. Birth, old age, disease, and finally death. Those are the real perplexities. According to the Vedas, whatever financial problems we have, they come and go. Health problems come and go. But ultimately, serious disease, and serious death. Those are the real problems. Why are they really a problem? Again, the Gita, the Acharyas, Krishna explains, because they're actually foreign to us. It's not actually what we're supposed to be experiencing. It's not what we want to experience. It's artificial, it's unnatural. It's explained that the soul, or us, the individual consciousness, by nature we're sat, eternal, chit, full of knowledge, and ananda, happy or full of bliss. That's our natural position. According to this great tradition that goes back thousands of years and so many great traditions, so many great teachers. So why then are we suffering? That's what's explained. That's why we need a guru, so we can ask that question. I mean, if you go to most people at work, you say, why am I suffering? And they'll make some kind of joke, because you don't listen to me enough or whatever. Or if they take you a little seriously, they say, listen, come on, let's go to the bar, happy hour. Let's just go and have a couple drinks or some other type of intoxication or whatever, go away with me for the weekend and, we'll go. There's a nice place on the lake. My family and I have a cottage. Why don't you and your family come and we'll have a little rest and relaxation, which is great. That's great. It's fantastic. Those are good things. But it doesn't solve the problem. It doesn't solve the deeper problem. So therefore, it's described here. We should actually try to understand, why are these perplexities there in the first place? Not just how to temporarily make them better, but why are they there in the first place? And to seek knowledge of who am I that's in this particularly uncomfortable situation? And through that knowledge, to actually begin to understand what's the consciousness behind this entire creation, what's my relationship with that consciousness, and how I can awaken that, and how I can actually come in touch. The example is given by our acharyas that of someone who has told there's a hidden treasure. It's like if you got a letter from some unknown relative, but it's a reliable source that says, you don't realize it, but you had a great uncle or a grandparent that maybe you didn't know so well, and they left a lot of money for you, and it's in such and such a bank account, or it's in such and such a house in a trunk someplace, and you should seek it out. That's what the guru tells us. That's what the acharyas tell us. That's what the scripture tells us, is each and every one of us, each and every one of you, we have this gold mine of a relationship with Krishna, which goes beyond this body, which is temporary. And we have choices to make. We can use this life simply to try to be comfortable in this world. There's no reason whatsoever to not be comfortable in this world. But you can give that 100% of your time, energy, and thought process, or you can give it a little less than that and use the spare time to understand what's our relationship with God and what's the nature of our soul. And that's what the guru tells us. So I want to read one other thing. and then we'll wrap up and take some questions. This is from a Vyasa Puja homage that our Prabhupada wrote about his guru, and just bring out one or two other points here on this. So he writes, I'll just read part of it. 62 years ago, on this auspicious day, the Acharya Dev made his appearance by the call of Thakur Bhaktivinoda at Sri Kshetra Jagannath Dham at Puri. So he's talking about his teacher's father and the holy place where he took birth. The offerings of such a homage as has been arranged this evening to the Acharya Dev is not, or the Guru, is Guru Purnima Day, is not a sectarian concern. Because when we speak of the fundamental principle of Guru Dev or Acharya Dev, we speak of something that is of universal application. There does not arise any question of discriminating my Guru from that of yours or anyone else's. There is only one Guru who appears in an infinity of forms to teach you, me, and all others. The Guru or Acharya Dev, as we learn from bona fide scriptures, delivers the message of the absolute world. I mean the transcendental abode of the absolute personality, where everything non-differentially serves the absolute truth. We have heard so many times that Mahajana Yenagata Sapanta, traverse the trail which your previous Acharya has passed. But we have hardly tried to understand the real purport or meaning of this sloka, of this verse. And if we scrutinizingly study the proposition, we understand that Mahajan, or great soul, is one. And the royal road to the transcendental world is also one. In the Katha Upanishad also it is said, in order to learn that transcendental science, one must approach the bona fide spiritual master in disciplic succession, fixed in the absolute truth. So, in this ISKCON society, the Hare Krishna movement, of which this Chicago temple is one very wonderful center among approximately 800 around the world, we have one primary, we call founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada, whose Murti form is sitting there, looking down upon us with kindness. So Prabhupada is considered the preeminent source of siksha, or knowledge. Just like today, we read Bhagavad Gita. I was reading from the translation Bhagavad Gita as it is, with the commentary by Srila Prabhupada. When the curtains open and we worship the deities, we do so following systems that were given 500 years ago and handed to us by Srila Prabhupada. When we chant mantras, we do so in an order that was given to us by Srila Prabhupada. The deities, did Prabhupada install these deities? Prabhupada installed these deities? Was he here personally? He gave their names. So when Prabhupada was physically present, he passed away in 1977. He installed many deities around the world. Here he gave the name of the deities. And so he gave us the opportunity to worship the deities and to make spiritual advancement. Prabhupada's the one, anybody staying around for the feast? Raise your hand if you're staying for the feast, or you are going to leave and I'm going to eat all by myself. Are you staying for the feast? Prashad. Are you staying for Prashad? Okay. So whose idea was it to serve Prasad at the temples? Who made it our system? Prabhupada, right? Anybody, you go to most temples in India, when they offer you Prasad, what do they give you? How much Prasad? Little tiny bit, which is great. It's Prasadam. It's offered to the deity. It's wonderful. But is it the same as ISKCON Prasad? No, ISKCON Prasad is a whole other standard, right? Right? The kitchen religion. You can't go away hungry. That was the vision of Srila Prabhupada. The Rath Yatra festivals all around the world. That Rath Yatra is a traditional festival in what place? Jagannath Puri. Who brought it around the world? Srila Prabhupada. You might have mentioned, where was the first one outside? Did you ask that? The first one outside of Puri was where? San Francisco. Okay, we've all seen these gorgeous Rath Yatra carts, right, that they have in Puri or in our ISKCON festivals. What was the first Rath Yatra cart? Anyone remember? was a flatbed truck. Because Prabhupada in his room in San Francisco looked out of his room and he saw these trucks going by. So he talked to Shama Sundar. Many of you recognize that name, one of his early disciples, who was kind of there with Prabhupada and did a lot of exciting things. Shama Sundar is the one that made good friendship with George Harrison. He went with Prabhupada to Russia. He helped do the whole Mumbai, Pandal, all those things that we don't have time to talk about. But Prabhupada saw this truck, so he drew a little picture for Shama Sundar. Said, I think we can do Rath Yatra parade like that. So Prabhupada brought the Rath Yatra. If you like the festivals that are going on in so many dozens and dozens of cities around the world, that came from Prabhupada. So in so many ways, he is our founder. He's our Acharya, the one who teaches by example. He's the preeminent Siksha Guru, the preeminent source of spiritual knowledge. And today in our society, there's so many different Siksha Gurus, or people who share Krishna knowledge of Krishna Bhakti, devotion to Krishna with us. Some of us, we may at a certain point in time decide, I want to formalize my commitment to Krishna and to the process of bhakti. So we accept that at formal initiation, we have a Diksha Guru. So there's different ways of interacting with Guru, but the essential point is we need help with spiritual knowledge to awaken ourselves. I personally went to hear a Guru whose name I won't mention, it's not necessary, in Ann Arbor, Michigan, years ago, centuries ago when I was a college student, so long, long time ago. And this person spoke, and he spoke for about an hour through a translator. He said, you have to know yourself, know yourself, know yourself, know yourself. So I was on the edge of my seat. It was kind of like a baseball game. First inning, second inning, third inning, know yourself, fourth inning, know yourself. It was getting close to the end, like seventh inning stretch, ninth inning. Okay, like when's he going to tell me who I am? And he never did. He just quit. And I was thinking, why did I whatever pay $20? I mean, I knew I need to know I knew the question before I came. Are you going to share some answers? Are you going to share some knowledge? So Prabhupada was very clear, the instruction that he shared with us on behalf of Krishna, coming in parampara. 1, you're not the body. 2, you're spirit soul. 3, the spirit soul has an eternal connection with the divinity or Krishna. 4, the best, most effective way, not the only way, but the most effective way of reawakening that relationship in this age is bhakti yoga. The simplest way of applying the process of bhakti yoga is the chanting. That's why we sing. I was upstairs. It's beautiful. Who led the kirtan? Is she still here? Who was chanting? There was a lady chanting before. She's somewhere else. Okay, in the gift shop. Okay, it was beautiful. It's beautiful chanting. Really evoked a sense of devotion. So the instruction here is like Arjuna. We should seek to solve the perplexities of life that we may experience through approaching someone who has spiritual knowledge, a community that has spiritual knowledge, a community that is exemplifying and manifesting this knowledge given by Krishna. We should take it to heart. And it's interesting, I'll just end with this for those of you who've been around for a while. And I believe it's in the 4th canto of the Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada explains that the debt one owes to one's spiritual teacher. So if we actually begin to understand what a dangerous path we were treading, if you consider the laws of karma, if you consider that we are responsible for our behaviors, both good and bad, if you think about the amount of darkness we were living in, possibly promoting to the world, and perhaps understanding what our future situation might have been, it is impossible to repay the Guru who has helped us come towards Krishna, come towards a more sattvic, more spiritually focused life. The only way one can repay that debt, Prabhupada explains, you try, as Prabhupada specifically said, preach vigorously as I am doing. So whatever extent you know Krishna, you try to give that to Krishna. You try to give that knowledge of Krishna to others. Prabhupada liked that the first child in our movement, her name was Saraswati. She's actually Shama Sundar's, same Shama Sundar's daughter. And Prabhupada liked very much, she was 2 or 3 years old, but Prabhupada liked that she, at her very early age, people would ask, Prabhupada would say, Saraswati, who is Krishna? The Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prabhupada liked that very much. He said she's so young, but she knows a little bit and she can share with others. So whatever little bit of knowledge we have, each one of us, it's our responsibility. We have the capacity to try to share that with others. We may have different limits of our capacity, but we all have friends, we all have family, we all have people in work, we all meet people that are in distress. We should try to share a little bit of that knowledge in a tasteful way, in a humble way. We don't want to necessarily be the types of people that, hit people over the head with our particular religious perspective or spiritual perspective. But in a gentle way, in a sincere way, in an earnest way, we can try and we should try to share that with others. Inviting people to festivals, inviting people to temples, sharing prasadam, like that. And that way we can try to repay a little bit the debt that we all have to Srila Prabhupada and others who've helped us on this spiritual path. So it's 6:16 or so, something like that. So maybe any questions at all anybody might have? Thank you for sitting attentively, but any questions or comments? If this was an auction, I'd count on him because he just scratched his ear, right? He just bid $100 for the next question. Anybody else want to bid or anything else? Anybody else? Yes, thank you very much. In times of perplexity, I'll repeat it while they're getting the microphone. In times of perplexity,
to ground ourselves.
to ground ourselves.
So an example that comes to mind is, for example, if someone was, a CEO of a company who is trying to lead with spiritual values like humility, but others perceive that as, say, a lack of proficiency or low intelligence. How can one ground?
Yeah, that's a two-part question. I'm going to take that as two questions. First one, how to remain grounded. The most important thing is to associate with other spiritually minded people. Because the way of the world is we get easily blown off track. Very easily. It's very easy to forget. We can sit and talk so many nice things and then, I'm just visiting here, but I didn't park my car outside, but I can talk about being detached. But if I go outside and somebody smashed into my car, I'm probably going to have a hard time saying, thank you, Krishna, for helping me become detached. I may say that after a few hours, but my first reaction will probably be something else. So, but if we associate with spiritually minded people, other devotees, that helps us. That's one thing that's very important. The other thing is to have some kind of sadhana, some spiritual practice every day that keeps us strong, that helps us keep focused on how to be grounded. And then a third thing is, if we are in an environment with less spiritually minded people, materialistic people, whatever, to even sometime during the day, make sure there's something to kind of recharge yourself as best you can. Take a minute out, you get breaks and read a Bhagavad Gita verse, or, call your mother or your husband or your best friend and say, tell me something about Krishna, or, something when you need it to kind of charge ourselves up. So association, sadhana, and then a similar thing during the day, just as far as keeping ourselves grounded. Another thing is just on that part, before I go to part two, being grounded doesn't necessarily, I would say another way, how do you keep ourselves in balance? Sometimes we think you're in balance, you get it like fine-tuned and then it just goes straight forever. That's not balance. Like on an airplane, they're trying to go from Chicago to LA. They're adjusting constantly. Wind blows and they got to go back this way. There's an updraft and a downdraft and this and that. Another plane's coming. They got to move around it. Big storm cloud. They got to constantly. Their goal is there, but they're constantly adjusting. So don't misconceive that I'm going to find this perfect balance point and it's going to be smooth sailing. It's always going to require some adjustments. So that's the first part. The second part, more interesting. The example you gave, so a CEO of a major company, or say anyone who's in a big position, and they're living in an environment with people that they may see that person's humility or their even-mindedness or their softness as being weakness, and they try to take advantage of that. Yeah? So a few things. One, you should still try to be humble, still try to be soft-hearted, still try to be compassionate. And two, Prabhupada gives an example in the Nectar Devotion. He explains that a pure devotee sees everyone as spirit soul, even a tiger. But the pure devotee of God understands the tiger does not see me as a pure devotee of God. The tiger sees me as dinner. So you don't necessarily offer yourself to the tiger. I mean, maybe if you're, Lord Chaitanya or Haridas Thakur or something like that, some great saint. But we live in a world, I mean, Krishna told Arjuna, everybody's spirit, soul, they're not these bodies, control your anger, be detached and go fight. Isn't it? So I think the question would be in that case, and of course there's lots of details there, but would be to maintain in the back of one's mind, I am going to treat everyone fairly because they're spirit soul. I'm not going to cheat. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to steal unless it's a life or death situation. That's different. But generally, I'm going to follow very high standards. I'm going to follow through on the commitments I make. And at the same time, that's going to be a source of strength for me, not a source of weakness. So, I'm firing you because I gave very clear expectations. We've talked about it 2 or 3 times. You are not able to fulfill those. I wish you the best, but you need to go somewhere else because you're not able to fill this role. And I hope you can learn from this and do better. There's no animosity there. I gave you a chance. I was clear. I was open. I was honest. I was fair. I was compassionate. And you didn't step up. Kind of like that. Is that okay? Yeah. Arjuna was no pushover. He was a pure devotee. Prabhupada says in the beginning, he was qualified to hear the Bhagavad Gita because of his soft-heartedness, but he was no pushover. Okay? Great. That's a great question. Any of the men like to try to do a question as good as that one? Yes, Prabhu.
What was mentioned in the Vedas. So why is death considered a perplexity if that's freedom from this material world? Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is death considered a perplexity when it's actually freedom?
Why is what considered a perplexity?
Death?
Death. It perplexes me. I don't want to leave my wife. I don't want to leave my kids. I don't want to leave my grandchildren. I mean, are my grandchildren going to be safe? Is the world going to blow up before they're adults? Are my granddaughters going to be exploited by the falsity of people that claim to be men that are basically animals walking around in this world with smiles on their face, telling them that they love them? That's a great sense of perplexity for me. Is a country that I grew up in that I think I was at least raised has ideals of equality and justice and truthfulness. Is it all going to go to hell because of some political wrangling that's going on? That's a perplexity for me. So it is, and plus we understand if our consciousness is impure, we have to come back again. And who knows where we're going to come back. I mean, it's one of the kind of harsh things of our tradition. It's not like, sometimes you read movie stars that talk about, yeah, I believe in reincarnation. Last time I was, I was the queen of this country. And before then I was this. It's like, no, you were maybe in that country, but maybe as a horse or a pig or a dog. Why do you think you were the queen? Maybe you were the queen, but there's no guarantee. So that's the other thing, the perplexity, because according to our karma and our consciousness, we have to come back again. And even if we're well intended, like I mentioned before, sometimes you try to do nice things, but still it comes back in a negative way. So even we tried to live our life very, piously, is there a guarantee we didn't do something really harmful and inadvertently or when we were young or something like that? So is that okay? Yeah. We have a couple more minutes. Anybody else? Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hi, Bo.
This
There's
is,
like this effulgence coming either off your head or the window behind you. I can barely see you, Prabhu. Nice to see you.
my pleasure to be here with you. Thank you for a lovely class. Since we're glorifying Guru today on such an auspicious occasion, there's a couple of things that are, I won't say perplexing, but not clear, and that we should talk about a little bit. And I hope you can expound on the mercy and the grace that we get from the Guru. it's invisible and it's, we don't see it, but we feel it and it's real.
Yeah, about the mercy of the Guru. Well, it brings up a lot of interesting things because, like, sometimes there was, I think, some reporters, they asked Prabhupada, they say, okay, you are, or you claim to be, he'd always say, I'm not, I'm a simple servant of Krishna, but you seem to be a great spiritual teacher. Can you show us your miracles? And he would kind of point to the people in the room that were following him and say, these are my miracles. These are people that were lost. Oftentimes were leading quite degraded lives. And by understanding Krishna, their lives have changed for the better. They're hopeful, they're bright-eyed, they're bright-faced, and they're optimistic for the future. So he would say like that. And also, I know there was one time devotees asked Prabhupada, they say, Prabhupada, when does one begin to get your mercy? Is it when you get initiated, you take, I vow to follow these principles and chant so many times a day? Is it when you take second initiation, you get what we call the Gayatri mantra? Is it, you take a sannyasa? When do you begin to get when you get the mercy of the Guru? And Prabhupada said, you begin to get the mercy of the Guru when you begin to follow the Guru's instructions, which is so beautiful because sometimes there's this debate. Because there is a sense in our tradition if you take formal initiation at a certain point, but it's absolutely not. There's one or two quotes where Prabhupada seems to imply this, but there's many other things, that it's not that until one's initiated, you don't make any spiritual advancement. You come here, eat prasadam, you're making spiritual advancement. You hear the holy name, you're making spiritual advancement. You go to church and you pray to God, you're making spiritual advancement. You give little contribution to some good cause, especially a spiritual cause, you're making advancement. So that's always there. And the mercy of the Guru, especially, we understand it's there for us to take. The Guru offers us, but our philosophy is based on the idea of reciprocation. Krishna's in our heart. He's been in our heart for as many lifetimes as we've been here. He's with us. He's waiting for us to turn to him. And when we do so, that mercy is always there. We just have to accept it. And the problem is sometimes we kind of run the other way. We don't take that mercy that's there. And we can talk more later too. Look forward to that. Thank you. So, one more quick question. We have time. One more question. Any more questions? I will.
Hare Krishna. In light of recent events, and if you want to take this question offline, we can discuss offline. However, do you see any sort of transcendental? I'm at a loss for the word right now. Transcendental coincidence that a very prominent personality in our country was in the very place where Prabhupada spent a lot of his time, and happened to be a bad thing was taking place, and I don't know, just a sliver of service that person had done somehow reflects from.
There's an official statement, I think you're referring to. There's an official statement on ISKCON News. Invite all of you, ISKCON News.
No,
you can go
I don't.
get information. It's an official statement if you're talking about the recent assassination attempt. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, and there was a statement came out made by a person who has access to media outlets in India, who said that the nature of this happening during the Jagannath Rath Yatra time coincided with the previous assistance to Jagannath Rath Yatra in New York. A lot of that information was erroneous, so we had to put on an official statement trying to correct that. I personally called across the world to talk to the person who was personally there, who told me exactly what had happened. And if you look at that statement, it clarifies that. And the main thing we wanted to say in that statement, it's not very long, anybody can look it up, is that ISKCON as a religious organization, 501c3, we do not, cannot, and will not ever endorse any political candidate, whether it's, the local board, what do they call them here, the board something? council board member, something like that. All aldermen, yeah, aldermen up to the president of the United States, and that we completely avoid. Individual devotees, yeah, get involved in whatever you want, in terms of helping the world be a better place as you are inspired, including political interests if you like. But ISKCON as an organization or people in positions of authority for ISKCON can never ever do that. Thanks for bringing that up. And I'll just mention to all the men here, uh, uh, September 2021-22 is the 7th annual men's retreat in New Vrindavan. Quite a few devotees in the past came there from Chicago. Usually I announce to the ladies it's actually a ladies' weekend free. We call it a men's retreat. That's all for show. It's actually a ladies' 3-day weekend. Ladies, send all your husbands, your father, your brothers, your son. Get them out of the house. Send them to the men's retreat in New Vrindavan, September 20, 21, and 22. And gentlemen, it's actually for you, whatever we tell them. It's a 3-day men's retreat. Please, seriously, it's a wonderful event. Bhakti Mark Swami's there. They do a drama at the Toronto Players. We have a bonfire that night, walk up to Old Vrindavan, 4 or 5 seminars. Sri Prahlad Prabhu, who's a scholar, also wonderful Kirtaniya. Gaurvani be their lead Kirtan. Bhutta Bhavana, who's a wonderful charismatic leader from the UK, is coming to do a seminar. So you can look online, mantra.org, man-tra.org. And it's nice if you get maybe 4 or 5 men. If you're going to drive, just drive over together. It's a lot of fun. So thank you very much. And ladies, there are ladies' retreats, but I'm not involved in those, so I can't talk about those. Okay. Jai Shri Guru Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Vaishnav Sangha Ki Jai. Shri
Anutama
Shri
Prabhu
Kishore
ki.
Kishore Ki Jai. Haribol.
Thank you so much, Anutama Prabhu, for explaining the perspectivities of life in such a nice way. Before, I mentioned that today's Sunday feast is sponsored by Gayatri Radha Mataji. Tomorrow is her birthday. So you can wish her, you can give her your blessings, and you can give the gift in advance today if you want. Thank you. So after the Sunday feast, please do join us. There will be a nice kirtan going on in the temple till 8 o'clock. Thank you so much for being here with us, and we will wait for you at the kirtan time. Enjoy your meal. As you go out, please go upstairs. The prasadam will be served on the 3rd floor. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Oh, Jai Darshan.
Vedanta Swami Itinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Sachata Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Kishore Kishori, Jaya Kishore Kishori, Jaya Kishore Kishori, Jaya Kishore Kishori. Jaya Gauranita, Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita. Jaya Jagannatha, Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Nita Gaura Hari Bol, Nita Gaura Hari Bol.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. जय किशोर किशोरी, जय किशोर किशोरी, जय किशोर किशोरी, जय किशोर किशोरी, किशोर किशोरी, जय जगन्नाथ, जय जगन्नाथ, जय बलदेवा, जय सुभद्रा, जय गौरानिताय, जय गौरानिताय, जय गौरानिताय, जय गौरानिताय, जय प्रभुपादा, जय प्रभुपादा, जय प्रभुपादा, जय प्रभुपादा, जय गुरुदेवा, जय गुरुदेवा, जय गुरुदेवा, जय गुरुदेवा, हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल, निताय गौरा हरि बोल, निताय गौरा हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल, निताय गौरा हरि बोल, निताय गौरा हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल, निताय गौरा हरि बोल, हरि बोल, हरि बोल, निताय गौरा हरि बोल। गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। हरे कृष्णा। हरे कृष्णा प्रभु, थैंक यू सो